Everybody, we are here talking to Ronnie Davis and Shar tonight. Due to some technical stuff, we're going to be doing a phone interview. I'm going to be muted during it. Without further ado, I'll let you guys take it away.
Hey guys, how you doing? I have Ronnie Davis here tonight, and Ronnie happens to be a very targeted individual by our government for standing up for his rights. For 3 years now, I've known Ronnie, and I know that his mission has been to withhold the Constitution. And anytime he tried to do that, he got targeted. Ronnie, could you give us a little bit of a rundown on what happened?
Mr. Jones, thank you for having me here. One of the things that took place in Florida was, a few friends of mine actually were sitting around one day, and we uncovered quite by accident, just by perusing different blogs and emails of different things that people had posted, that there was a Kids for Cash company being ran in Florida. Anybody that Googles Kids for Cash will see that this is how CPS makes their money. It's actually extortion, and it's also a violation of the parent and child rights that are afforded to them already. When we uncovered this, and I started to tell people about it, people started to get educated in their constitutional law, the Supremacy Clause, because the Constitution is the supreme law of this land. That's why we have a Supreme Court. In that time, it would appear that a lot of people, I'll call them snowflakes, other people will call them millennials or whatever they want, have tried to put together a company covertly to destroy the Constitution and make sure that anybody who upholds or speaks of the Constitution is now some kind of cult leader, sovereign citizen. And I have to point out to people, both educated and the stupid, there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen for the last time. The Constitution is sovereign. The Constitution, the preamble, the Declaration of Independence, those things are what the country was fought for. How many men and women died defending the Constitution in war after war after war? Now all of a sudden, if you call the Constitution, you're some kind of a cult leader, cop killer, baby raper, puppet puncher, or kitten kicker. So the country has turned into two types of people. The snowflakes who are brand new, that don't know the law, who like their cushy little job and their cushy little seat. They don't want to make any waves because they're happy with the way things are. Then there's the other set of people who have been wronged by corruption in their state, and they're not going to sit and take it anymore. They want to find a way to sue for corruption, and we're supposed to. Anybody who looks up any of these laws that I'm about to put out here, like Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 4, this isn't a felony, or any of the federal reporting statutes of Supreme Court cases, like Title 42 U.S.C. subsection 1983, conspiracy to interfere with civil rights, no one has an idea of what this is. Most of these snowflakes and millennials today have no idea who died for their freedoms, have no idea who went and fought. These guys that have been in service were upholding or under the impression that they were fighting for freedom, democracy, the Constitution. That's what we were taught in school. Now today, if you bring up the Constitution, you're some kind of a sicko nut killer who doesn't think or believe the laws apply to you. The laws do apply to us who uphold the Constitution. We abide by the laws that are the Supreme Court laws of the land. We do know that the laws apply to us. We do have to guide ourselves with decency and give our fellow man decency. But it would appear that many judges, FBI, DEA, CIA, different police officers, different sheriffs and organizations, do not believe in the Constitution. If you walk into a courtroom where you've been targeted and challenged jurisdiction, both personal and subject matter, they'll hold you under felony contempt of court. This is just the preamble of why I'm being targeted. A bunch of people were paying attention to what I said. They started to listen. They started to research these things. Well, Mr. Davis, that's your ideology. I don't have an ideology. Okay, it's not my interpretation. And anyone that looks up Barry versus the United States Corporation will see, that the Constitution shall be liberally construed in my favor. It clearly intended designated beneficiary of the trust. When people look this up, they go, wow, I didn't know that's like the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says you cannot have your rights infringed upon when it comes to your firearm. And you got thousands of people running around. They have no idea between a BB gun or an AR-15. All they know is, why do you need an assault rifle in case 20 guys surround my house? A shotgun isn't going to do much of anything for 20 guys if I only have 10 shots. So every other day you see on TV another shooting here, another shooting there. Now they're using shootings in other countries to affect us. So that the cowards, snowflakes, and millennials in this country can bow down and cower like what was done in 1942. First, the government moves in when they don't like you, and they take away your rights. Now you can't protest. Now you don't have the right to defend yourself. Now you can't have a firearm. Next, they come away and take your firearms, and then next they come away and take you. That's why I'm targeted, because I refuse to shut up. I refuse to lay down. I've already been put in jail for 7 months in isolation and a year in prison for frivolous charges, bogus, trumped-up charges that violated every single right that I had. There was no due process at all. So when you get out of prison and they didn't kill you and they didn't break your spirit, you become a bigger problem than the initial. Well, now many people all across the country that I've spoke with and talked to are going into these police departments and going, I have the right to be here and record. And look at what these corrupt bastards are doing. Forgive my language. It's the truth. If you're not honoring your oath of office, you're a scumbag in a uniform. I don't care who you work for. And that's why I'm targeted. So speaking of like a father and a grandfather, my children and grandchildren got to grow up in this world, and so does yours. What are we going to leave them behind? That was my question. When you look up Title 42 U.S.C. subsection 1983, 1985, 1986, you realize something is wrong. 16 A.M. jurisprudence second, they say that's your interpretation. It's not my interpretation. The founding forefathers that created the Constitution said it will be liberally interpreted in my favor. Well, if that is so, how come we can't walk into a courtroom anywhere and have our rights be enforced? Because each state has been paid to stay corrupt. They make too much money out of abducting people's children. Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 1201, felonious felony restraint of an adult or a child. They've taxed everything. They've made it impossible for people to survive. They've made it impossible for people to die. You cannot come into this earth, you already owe money. You can't leave out of this earth, you owe money. They have made it possible for us to not be able to govern ourselves. And it's the United States Constitution, right? Or the American Constitution. People are unaware of the two different constitutions. It's really hurting us. Yeah, you.
And what are you finding now that do you find that things are changing in the last year?
I'm seeing a lot is changing. They're actually backpedaling faster than their little legs can kick. Okay, they should have drank more milk and made it to the gym more often so that those two little twigs they're trying to backpedal with would work for them. But it's not happening. It's not. It's not going fast enough. To be honest, when you look up things and you see that, I was just now seeing on Yahoo News, it's owned by Verizon, by the way, said, we're reverting back to the Constitution. Excuse me? What do you mean you're reverting back to the Constitution and state law? Weren't we always using the Constitution? Well, evidently, we were not. Well, then what were we using? Well, they say, well, that's the common law. Excuse me, there's only one law. If that's the common law, what's the uncommon law? What law have we been using? I'd like these dirtballs to interpret that. I was just on the phone with, 24 attorneys that work for the bar, just to see what I would get. I already knew. Hey, guys, do you know anything about tort claims? Oh, we sure do. Really? Do you do anything about libel, defamation, or slander? We certainly do. What company do you work for? Oh, so I have to work for a company now. It says on your site, constitutional attorneys, civil rights attorneys. But you're not really interested in defending any civil rights. You're not really interested in the Constitution. Because each attorney firm that I've went to since I've been home over a year, out of prison, they're all given the same thing. Well, you're going to be labeled vexatious, Mr. Davis. Really, I'm not vexatious. I'm actually the one calling the kettle to call account. I didn't say it was black or white. I just wanted to know that it was a kettle. Well, now that the kettle is whistling and it's glowing red hot, it's on the back pedal. Well, these things were said a long, long time ago by another great man. My father was one of them. Another great man that said this was George Carlin and Carl Miller. That's right, a comedian and a decorated war hero. Two different people. One's a comedian, one's a war hero. They gave a very bleak prognosis of what was going to take place as things went on. It's a big company, and you ain't in it.
Absolutely. Corporate. Everything is considered a corporation or an organization. And that's what's happening now, and I don't think people really realize that, how it's all broke down. And I have a question. So if you go in court and court is a corporation, how can we have a judge in court if a corporation is supposed to have a president?
Well, you want to be sure right off the bat to make sure you get their name so that you can look up their the Dun and Bradstreet number, and then get in touch with the IRS and ask them, how come you're insuring a criminal? And then they go, I beg your pardon? That's right. Your judge cannot have any form of tenure, standing, or insurance, or be bonded if he violates the scope of his duties and his oath of office. Mm-hmm. So if he violates, that's Title 18 U.S.C. Section 2381, Canon number 7. So if we pay attention to any of the supremacy clause, judge's first oath of office is to defend the Constitution against all invaders. Anybody that would come to this country, foreign or domestic, these invaders who destroy the Constitution, he, the judge, is really a referee. He's supposed to sit there and govern over what is the constitutionality of this case. Is the Constitution being used? That's what an appellate court is for, to check to see if the Constitution, if no rights were violated. Well, when you look into this, get that judge's number. Get his Bradstreet number, remember their name, then call the IRS and go, how come you're insuring criminals? Maybe we should file a lawsuit on you for insuring criminals. Because when they violate their oath of office, they're acting above and beyond the scope of their duties, and this is capital felony treason. There are attorneys, police officers, and detectives in Florida who wish to God that I didn't exist. I'm sorry about their bad luck. Maybe you shouldn't have put on that badge, that uniform, and been a scumbag. Maybe you shouldn't have put on that robe and been a terrorist. Because I'm told that anybody who levies war against the United States is a terrorist. Well, wait a minute. Let me stop right here and draw a line in this proverbial sand. Title 28 U.S.C. subsection 3002 of the Constitution says that the United States is a federal corporation, a company, not a country.
Absolutely.
That's Title 28 U.S.C. subsection 3002. Well, wait a minute. Isn't it America that we should be defending against all terrorists, foreign and domestic? How come we're defending Kmart, Burger King, Target, Walmart, a company, Publix? It's just another company. They gave it a cute little name, the United States. It sounds like we're all hugged up together, brothers loving brothers, sisters helping their sister. It's not that way. America is a country and a landmass with Americans who fought to defend the Constitution that's being thrown in the garbage can by a bunch of pansy, coward douchebags. Forgive the language again, it's just passion. I don't mean to be inconsiderate. Sometimes it gets the better of me because when I think of how many couch, tough guy PC heroes we have in this country, I have to ask myself, all these groups getting together, hey, we're set up for this and we're set up for that. What are we accomplishing? Where are all these groups? All these badass tough guy groups? I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, Mommies for Children, Daddies for their children. Where are they other than just on Facebook? Where are they other than you go to YouTube and what happens?
I will say this. I'm going to stop you right there. I will say this. within the last couple of months, we have seen a lot of boots on the ground throughout the United States, and we are unifying. We are unifying groups. We are Yellow Vest, and so what we do is we help anybody, any group that's out there. We find connections and supports so that we get like a lot of people together, opposed to just one group going out. We try and get support for that group, no matter where they're at, and that's what we're doing, Ronnie. We're going state per state, and we're unifying people. New Jersey, we just had 500 out. And we bring it out on Yellow Vest Live. We have it streamed. We bring them out live. If you look on our page, that's exactly what we are doing, is unifying everyone.
I'm going to check you guys out. First of all, I didn't mean to interrupt, but bless your heart, and bless all those that support you. And bless the people that support the people that are supporting you guys, okay? Because this is called having ovarian fortitude. This is called having testicular fortitude. When you stand up and do what we're supposed to do. It's not heroic. It's just the right damn thing to do. This is what my father and my grandfathers on both sides, when they came back from Germany, both of my grandpas said we were there to take out the bad guys. I mean, they were killing people, starving people. And then when these guys come back from war and they tell stories like my pops, it's kind of scary. You wonder if you were fighting the wrong damn people. Because the corporation, the United States Corporation, has tried to induct forcibly every country they can. And as soon as you don't agree, they bomb you. They find an excuse to destroy your country. As soon as you don't submit to Satan, that's what this corporation is. It is satanic. I don't care if people believe in God or Satan or not. That's not my problem. But I'll tell you right now, if you can look around this country and the world and see evil, and you can't look around the country and see God, this kind of tips you off that we're having a really bad problem. Okay, I'm not a zealot. I do not do good deeds for God. I try to educate my fellow man and be educated by my fellow man or woman, because we're just people waiting until Nancy Schaefer was murdered.
Absolutely.
Nancy Schaefer was murdered by these maggots, these cowards, and so was her husband. And then they tried to say, oh, domestic violence. What a bunch of crap. That's a lie. And I'll tell you right now, Nancy Schaefer, bless your heart, sweetie, and your husband, Bruce, a.k.a. Bear, wherever you are, bless your heart for having the ovarian fortitude to stand up, unlike these snowflakes in this country, PC tough guys, fighting on the couch. How in the hell do you fight anything on the couch? I bless Nancy Schaefer because now there are many Nancy Schaefers. Now there are many Bruce Schaefers. And you know what? They try to discredit and make you sound like a nut, a zealot, a slower. I can't tell you the people that I've had to go onto YouTube with another friend and get on there and defend myself against an unending stream of maggots who know nothing about law, who are paid to throw the Constitution under the bus, and forget all the guys and girls that died for it in the worlds before, all the people that have died defending that Constitution. They are bent on overthrowing it so that the statutes, codes, and ordinances that steal children, homes, lives, guns, land, families can continue to work Satan's hand just like they want. Or you can call it whatever you want. It's evil, meanness, cruel, terrible, but when you sit back and you let your neighbor's house burn to the ground and he has children and you don't at least help go for water on it, then you're not my neighbor.
Absolutely.
You know? And this has come all over. What you guys are doing, oh my goodness, I really do. I don't agree with little 10 hats for anyone or 10 foil hats for anyone, but I do agree with maybe wearing Kevlar nowadays, because what you're doing is definitely going to get some negative dialogue from all of these scumbags that are destroying the laws in this country. Well, have destroyed the laws in this country.
Well, here's how we're presenting it. Is actually from our heart, and it's people helping people, and it's about human rights. Out there with everyone, we're for human rights, and we're for, whoever wants to come with us, whatever they bring us, they need help with. We've had a lot of success in the last couple of months, unifying a lot of groups and also showing and bringing out the world. We have groups from there's like 270 yellow vest groups right now globally. We have them coming throughout the whole world through us. And right now we have Italy and Venezuela that actually got blacked out from the internet. They won't even let the people see what's going on. Yellow Vest TV is bringing it.
Yep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yellow Vest TV is bringing it all out. It's not on your TV to see what's going on around the world. You have to look on ours. We have it. We have all of the protests from all over, and we have connections throughout the globe with a lot of the groups, and we're trying to unify globally with people also, and it's working pretty well right now. And what we're also doing is unifying in the United States under and actually it is under the Constitution because we are in the United States. But our main issue is human rights, period, that are being violated. Vaccinations, big pharma, chemtrails, anything out there that's been harming humans, our land, our water. We can't even find clean water. I know Florida just had a really big problem with their water and their fish and everything. It's not even tropical anymore, Ronnie, where you're at. You can't.
That's right. I fully agree, and I hear you. I want to add something to this for all of the listeners, and I hope you can use this. When someone in this country tells you that, well, the Constitution doesn't apply to this, it doesn't apply to that, actually it applies to everything. It is the supreme law above all. It is a sovereign law. The Constitution is sovereign law. You can Google that anywhere. When you look up AM Jurisprudence 16, second, Section 97, you'll see that this gets a liberal interpretation for the American and anything that isn't the law, like Marbury versus Madison 5, U.S. 137 of 1803. Now, I'm not coming on here to sound like I'm so educated in law. I want to tell you what I've learned that destroys them. When you put Marbury versus Madison, it says anything outside the Constitution is treason. And when you use Berry versus the United States 273 U.S. 28, it says every American will give it a liberal interpretation in favor of the clearly intended designated beneficiary. I am the beneficiary. You are the beneficiary.
That's right, of the trust. Of the trust. Absolutely.
That's right. I'm the owner of the trust.
That's right.
Now, in saying that, because people don't know, when you have things like Norton versus Shelby County, 118 U.S. 425, even though things look like the law, sound like the law, maybe even feel like they should be the law, in fact, they are no office at all. No one is obligated to enforce these frivolous statutes, codes, and ordinances that are not the Constitution, and no one is obligated to oblige to adhere to these frivolous statutes, codes, and ordinances. There's no such thing as sovereign citizen because only God and the Constitution is sovereign. A man can't be an object. And most people don't know. This country's not called the United States. We have to stop calling this country the United States. Title 28, USA subsection 3002 says the United States is the problem. They are a corporation. America needs the help. America needs the Constitution enforced, and the United States was supposed to enforce it. Well, the United States has become a bunch of corrupt scumbags not enforcing their own laws of the Constitution, which we, the people, gave them. We gave them the right and the power and the charge to enforce what we wanted. But how does that happen?
Somehow it got flipped backwards a little bit. They seem to think that Constitution is the government's. It's flipped backwards. People aren't realizing that. The Constitution was for the people against the government, not the government against the people to steal the people's money. And that's where the trust is coming in. Our trust was broken.
That's right.
And that has to be fixed. And that's why we're all out here.
Exactly, and you guys are probably going to get more full effect in just a little bit. The more educated your listeners and your subscribers and supporters and the members are, the more dangerous they are to the evil regime. When you look up into the Constitution and you see a law that is Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 241 and 242, the conspiracy against rights. Wait a minute. How the hell did this get in the law? You mean before we even had law, we had conspiracy again? Well, the founding forefathers must have taken that into consideration, that people were going to try to twist the law to what they wanted, working in state. Then you have 242, the deprivation of rights under the color of law. These things are what have destroyed the country, and too many people sitting back, eating bonbons, watching the whole shopping club, and afraid to get up off of their ass and act and help their fellow man is what happened. When you look up federal nationality, there's no such thing. You can't be a citizen unless you work for any branch of the United States Armed Forces. You cannot be a citizen unless you work for any branch of the United States corporation government. So, if you work for the United States government, you're a citizen. Whether it's in the Armed Forces or in any branch of government, you are a citizen. But those of us who are not working for the United States government, are not enlisted in the United States Armed Forces, are not a citizen. Rights trump privileges. People don't know this. They keep referring in all their legal work. Well, we in the United States, you can't keep calling yourselves United Statesians. You're not United Statesians. You're Americans. And because people don't know the difference between these two things, this little glitch hurts them. I in Florida was charged for practicing law without a license, armed abduction. They paid people. I have all, thank you, Anonymous, and some family members that are very smart, for getting me all the information to prove that I was framed and people paid for it. Mm-hmm. They tried to connect me to Roger Dowdell and Bruce Doucette, and I was like, no. They called me asking for information. I don't call them asking for information. I can prove this. I have witnesses. I have tape. Roger Dowdell personally was out at my house to my property, but they call a pound to try to make me have to be David Koresh or Terry Nichols or Timothy McVeigh. Look, nothing could be further from the truth. I stumbled onto some bad things here. I reported it. I exposed it, and everything went to hell. Well, here's what's really taken place. I've let the courts know that one judge here in Florida decided that she was going to enter a plea without my wishes, against my wishes. This same judge was also going to deem me incompetent without a HIPAA test or a psychiatric evaluation, and then she appointed me a public pretender scumbag that I did not ask for and told them this violates my rights. She said, and then when I said, I wish to go ahead and challenge jurisdiction, both personal and subject matter. I really don't wish to engage in these frivolous courts because this is all fraud. She turned around and bowed to the flag. I said, I'm sorry, where was the jurisdiction given again? Jurisdiction has to be proven. It cannot be assumed that it cannot be taken. Most people don't know this. When you don't have an idea what your rights are, you don't have any rights, which is why I've told everybody to look up Carl Miller, a decorated war hero from Vietnam who became the country's foremost constitutional expert. And this is how people started to get educated. It's how we just took the time. I wrote this thing probably 8 years ago called The Gold Ticket. And inside of the gold ticket, it had Berry versus the United States, 273 U.S. 128. Any constitutional provision, privilege, or right to confer a benefit should be literally construed in favor of the clearly intended and designated beneficiary of the trust. That's us. When I let people know that we could sue them when they violate their oath of office, Title 18 U.S.C. subsection 4, misprision of felony, and also through Title 42 U.S.C. subsection 1983, 1985, and 1986, people were like, wow, I was always told that judges have judicial immunity. That's what these maggots want you to think, that they are untouchable. Well, if you go and look up the word sovereign, it means you can't be judged. Really? Isn't that the kettle calling some of us different colors that maybe we don't appreciate? I'm not glowing red hot, except when they violate my rights. So I told them, with all due respect, I can't be practicing law without a license because law cannot be licensed. It is an open occupation for anybody who can elucidate it. Or did we not see Swear versus the Board of Examiners, 353 U.S. 238, 239, or the Supremacy Clause? And so they got really, really nasty with me. I got the good old boy treatment. You can hear the dueling banjos in the background picking. They made sure that things like sitting in a hot transport van with no air conditioner, no bathroom, no water for 5.5 hours was what Mr. Davis deserves. They made sure that when they food poisoned me 3 times in the Polk County Jail, this is what Mr. Davis deserves. And so how do you attack a guy who's helping people get their children home? And then you have the audacity to say, he hates cops, he's a pedophile, he's a baby puncher, a woman beater. You call people these names when you want the rest of the world to discredit them. Okay? It's a very old tactic. These things can be used in every war. You pick up a stone, you throw it at the neighbor's dog, and his yard is full of those stones. So who killed the neighbor's dog? It looks like the guy with those little stones in his driveway did. Well, this is not always true. What's happening in Florida needs to be investigated. Now that I want to sue them, I'm told, before I even file a tort claim, you'll be labeled sovereign and vexatious. Really? So this is an elite class of people that can't be sued, is what you're telling me. Well, Mr. Davis, this is what I've been told by Florida bar attorneys, bar slime here in Florida. You can't sue them, Mr. Davis. And if you could sue them, they're going to seek alternate arbitration so that they don't go to jail. We've got plenty of money. Really? How willing of you? How belial of you all? I'm just wondering, when all hell breaks loose, what are the Marines and Army and Air Force and Navy going to do? Are they going to listen to their corporate masters and say, I'm just following orders, like the Nazis did in 1942? Or are they going to go, wait a minute, that's my sister you're taking her babies from and killing them? Do you know why children stay doped up in foster care? Because they grieve to death. Children grieve to death in foster care, and that's why they keep them doped up, and not many people know this. You wonder why your child doesn't want to talk to you after they've been in foster care for 6 months? It's because they have been told, and I have eyewitness accounts to this, witnesses right now that'll testify, and we want a jury trial. We all want a jury trial because that's going to give us a chance to talk to the jury. And this is what's going to happen. When the judge goes, strike that. That's jury tampering. That's evidence. That's obstruction of justice. A judge is not allowed to tell a jury, strike that. Erase that from the record. Don't put that down. The judge is not allowed to do that. That violates his oath of office and our rights. But they're doing it everywhere. And these children are suffering for it. They're dying in foster care. Dying in protective custody. When I saw one young woman, well, I didn't see it, but I heard that, and it was all over the news, she killed herself because the state took her baby, and I quote, because she wasn't married. I started to think to myself, am I going to sit here and watch this gang rape take place and not bash these criminals in the head with something and stop this gang rape? That's what's going on. America, not the scumbag of the United States, but Americans in America are being gang raped by the dirtballs who run the United States Federal Corporation. And if you look for the U.S. Marshals and FBI to help you, you're only asking Satan to correct his children. That's honest. That's a fact. People do not agree, but now there's a lot of people rallying in support, and I'm glad. And I'm glad you guys reached out too. This is one more avenue, one more venue we can get to the heart of the matter and use real facts. I have proven I've done nothing wrong in any of my cases. I have proven facts, even in state paperwork, in my transcripts of discovery that they gave me, that people were paid to trump up charges. The lady who pressed charges against me, Angela Yeager, was on the Montel Williams show and paid to come here begging forgiveness like a poor little wounded mommy trying to get her children. And this lady, later on, after she was told to leave from the premises for stealing from other people that were trying to get an education here, she said she was held at gunpoint. Well, that's interesting because I have more than 24 witnesses in my neighborhood and community and friends and family and her friends and her family. Her own brother and daughter came to me and told me, my mom has issues. I'm sorry that she did this to this man. I have this in writing from her own brother and daughter. Well, there was a few more. I told them all along, look, I haven't done any of these things. It's innocent until proven guilty. You need to do some kind of a preliminary investigation and see if I'm right. This young lady's been on the Montel Williams show. She has mental issues. This is a proven fact. They didn't want to hear that. So instead, they plastered me all over every news media outlet they could, every news station, agency. I'm suing all of them, by the way, for libel and slander, defamation. But now I'm told that, Mr. Davis, you'll never win against Sanio. First of all, you have too much information and you have too much balls to go forth and fight, and they don't like that. You have a voice, and you're educated with that voice. They hate that even more. That's counterintuitive to what they're doing. That's counterproductive to what they want. They want you to fail. They want you to look like some long-haired meth head, dope head, cult leader, cop killer, baby raper, puppet puncher, kitten kicker, and I'm nothing of the sort. So now all over the country, my name has been in different courtrooms. Who's writing this? What idiot is still using cult? Didn't those words go? It's like there's some 85-year-old Rothschild dirtball writing this script. Okay? And he hasn't realized that the times have changed. We don't have cult leaders like that really anymore. I mean, if we do go into somewhere, nobody knows about it. But I'm not one. Okay? I don't know what David Koresh's thing was. I'm not judging him. I don't know what Terry Nichols or Timothy McVeigh did. I only heard it was bad and that it hurt a bunch of people. I wasn't given any of the facts or the details of their cases or what they did. I only know there was explosions, hurting, fire, bloodshed. We didn't get any facts. We got a bunch of propaganda. Just like Sandy Hook. Alex Jones is retrieving from what he said. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever known any kind of injury anywhere? Ambulance, fire truck, police didn't show up? What showed up at Sandy Hook? You have all these injured children there. Okay? And if somebody did die there, God, I'm sorry. I would hate to lose a child. No one should lose a child. That's like goes against the laws of nature. But if all those children and people were hurt there, where were all the fire trucks, helicopters, medical evac units? And EMS units. Where were all the police officers? Because I have to be honest, when I saw the media coverage on it, there was nothing there. There were cops all over the place, SWAT gear. They like playing in their battle rattle. It makes them look like they're tough and smart, sophisticated. Really, they just look like stormtroopers to me. When you don't honor your oath of office, they're going to continue to plague this country with more shootings that were or were not there. Okay, I saw the one that took place here at the bar that was in Florida, deeper in Florida where I'm not. I'm in northern Florida. People are being carried out of the nightclub and they're smiling at the camera. Who gets in a mass shooting in a bar and leaves smiling at the camera? And how many times did that same little girl that was at the Boston Marathon bombing, she was in the Kuwait thing, they took the babies out of the incubator. She's the same girl in all these different places. She just happens to be at a massive, terrible event every single time, and they always seem to target her because she has such a pretty cry face. I'm sick of it. And a bunch of us that do see these things over and over and over, even EMS units and police officers that I know and love here will tell you, you have to respond. No matter what takes place. You get that call, you go. If you don't get the call, it didn't happen. Okay? And now you got these other children. They're paying these plants to overthrow our Constitution. This is really, really happening. And you guys know it as well as I do. People are being paid and fooled and deceived to overthrow the Constitution. When you have no rights, how are you going to defend yourself? That's what I'd like to bring to the table. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren right now are counting on us to make sure that what has already been afforded, died, and paid for in blood. Anybody who looks up the Federalist Papers or Project Blue Book or Paperclip will get a super education on exactly what's taking place. This isn't some damn cult, dirtball group, backwoods of hating hillbillies running around with guns, hating cops. That's not the way this is. These are the grandchildren and great-grandchildren and me, a son of those who have already fought and died for that Constitution just to have a bunch of dirtball snowflakes and skinny jeans and long beards thrown it underneath the bus. And that's where we're at. So in Florida, yes, I'm being targeted. I don't mind being the sacrificial lamb, but could somebody just stand up and do something for my sake? You know, could somebody just stand up and go, we're going to sue them in federal court, Mr. Davis, I heard you, and this is what we're going to... I would love for somebody to show up at my door tomorrow and go, you know, little bear, I've listened to you for 5 years now, and everything you've shown me has been verbatim, 100% the facts. And I wish I could do more, but today I've got somebody that's going to listen. One retired judge that knows how to get things done could save the country. Okay? And but I'm going to tell you why they won't. Do you know how many inmates I've helped to get home? Just spitting skills. Do you know how many inmates are home now and are educating their families and others? I'm telling you, I had deputies and all kinds of pet dick inside of these guys in jail to protect my classes. Deputies having prayer meetings with us just to let the information through so that I could educate the class before we left. Deputies were allowing this to happen in Florida because they, too, can't do anything, but they see what's going on. And if you get 5 or 6 deputies inside of a jail to Google who you are, what you've done, they go, wow, Mr. Davis, you are being framed, aren't you? Well, did you think? I mean, I'm sure everybody in jail is innocent. Well, some of us can prove it. I can prove with all of the state's paperwork. I can prove 100% beyond all shadow of a doubt. I didn't miss anything. Okay? They couldn't get me on anything. So you know what they stuck me with? A gun charge. Listen to this. On the paperwork, it says no physical possession. It was constructive possession. Do you know how many country stars, rock stars, and rap stars have a felony that have to hire outside protection because somebody is targeting them? I had to hire outside protection. They stuck me with a gun charge because nothing else stuck, and they already had me in isolation for 7 months. So they told me, Mr. Davis, you can take a deal. I've got my 10-year-old son in the courtroom looking at me with tears in his eyes. He already knows what's going on. And he's going, Dad, well, they offered me 33 years, Mr. Davis. 33 years of a jury conviction. But if you act now, we'll give you a year and a day. Really? How nice. Oh, that's an offer. That's not an offer. That's forced. When you're not using the Constitution and you're not honoring your oath of office and you damn sure ain't honoring my rights, how am I supposed to respond? Take the year and a day or go for a chance that you're going to have your little secret jury of 6 members. I don't get 12. In the state of Florida, you don't get 12 jurors. You get 6 specifically handpicked by the state jurors in a secret courtroom. Here's something else I'd like for your listeners to know. Did you know that every prison in Florida is owned by 4 judges? That's impossible. That's a conflict of interest. This violates everybody who's ever been arrested by or incriminated by these judges and thrown into prison, because it's just that you can't have that. You can't have judges owning a prison. And here's something else. How many famous people have a hand in running these prisons? Don't build more schools. Don't put police officers at the schools. Build more prisons. And when we get to prison or jail, everything is Bob Barker. Really, Bob? Really, Bob Barker. How many other people have a hand in each jail and prison? It's like the milk cow companies for these pill companies. These pill companies are bottle drip keeping everybody doped up. And these pill mills are running all over the place. Okay? They're going to make everything that you ever thought into a sedation, whether it be the law, whether it be your child, your husband, your wife. As long as they can keep you doped up, sold, lied to, you'll recognize right off the bat, this is capital felony treason at its best. This is extortion. This is strong-arm robbery. This is subversion. This is sedition. This is racketeering. This is every bad form of money grabbing you can imagine. And so, yeah, they're trying to get me now. I just can imagine that by the time this airs, they will have already tried to hurt me again. So I just want you to know, I really, see, fear of death only works on people who are afraid to die. If you've been through some of the things that I have in my life, whatever, I'm not afraid of it anymore. I've seen it enough. I felt it enough. I've experienced it one time. I didn't come back with a story to tell, but I'm here with my own story to tell that doesn't have anything to do with death. If we don't do anything in a little while, what are our children going to look forward to?
Ronnie, I have to tell you this. I have to.
A child's hand and watching them wave goodbye as they cry, leaving with a stranger, can kill an adult. Okay, here's how words work. I'll yield and shut up. I appreciate you having me on the show. I want you to realize that words can kill. If you ran into a house and told a 70 or 80-year-old woman, hey, your son just got killed on a motorcycle, they might grab their heart, fall over, and die. You didn't touch them. You just told them some words, and it killed that person because you told them a lie. Well, do you know what it feels like to these parents that have lost a child to a bunch of maggots that are corrupt, and see your 3-year-old waving goodbye, crying, leaving with a stranger, wondering why mommy isn't stopping this? Why isn't daddy stopping this? I'll tell you why. Because a bunch of cowards run this country. They're called the federal government.
And I have to tell you this. You're a seed, and you're growing, and it is growing all over America right now. Groups are standing up in every state. We are following them and tracking them. We are filming them. We are helping them unite to make them stronger, so their voices are being heard. And the way that they are setting up is incredible. And anybody that's out there, we'd like you to go and see some of the stuff that we have put together in the last couple of months on how we are unifying for people to have their voice, and that's basically what this is for. And hopefully if there's people out there in Florida that have groups, I know there's cell groups out there, the cell groups, it's time to come out. You need to stand up and unite, and if you need a speaker to lead your group with a strong voice, get a hold of us, and we will pull through a couple people for you. One happens to be right here. I don't know where he's at right now, but I'm sure he has someone in the area that he knows that'll speak just as well. Or we can get him.
Need some help here.
Yes.
I need some help here.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And well, I didn't know if you were still there. I thought you had left the state, but well.
I had to come back. I had to. I'm kind of back and forth in transition, but I sure couldn't use that. I feel like I'm abandoning brothers and sisters on the battlefield.
I agree.
Expecting me to.
Absolutely.
It's just that horrible. It's just that horrible.
You're correct.
I don't leave Florida. And it's either that or be shot on the street. They shot a man down here. Polk County deputies shot a man 168 times down here, and we need to Google that. And then when they asked why you shot that man that many times, and I was told by deputies and attorneys this, they said they ran out of bullets.
Wow. That's
how blatant this is. If anybody can help in the state of Florida to get with Ronnie Davis, please do. That's not my plug. That's my plea. Okay? And I've got a new company coming out myself. It's called Exposing Tyrants 101.
And we have hashtag ban ASFA going on right now, and we have hashtag ban ASFA, and that's going out. And we also have hashtag foster kids too, that's circulating, and we're hoping that brings attention throughout America. We need to get that out across the web, and that is protesting in a way, and that is helping. We do have different things that are working in certain areas, but Ronnie, I'm going to have to wrap this up, and I do really appreciate you coming out, and your voice is very strong, and I hope that we can get people in Florida. The cell groups that are out there, please notify us, and let's get you out there. Let's get this going. We have to get this unified, each state. We've been bringing you state by state. And thank you very much, Ronnie. And I'm going to wrap this up right here. This is Yellow Vest TV. My name is Shar. If you like what you heard, please hit like. If you really like us, please share us. And sharing is caring. And we really appreciate you. Have a good night.